It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Kitchen Land USA, and Thompson Sales. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Forhetz.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday to you. It's hump day, and we are here with some news. Let's go.
All right. A man from Springfield is accused of using a fake cashier's check to buy a $450,000 house in the University Heights neighborhood. He's charged with 7 felony counts of forgery in the attempted purchase of that house near East Linwood. Police say during an interview with him, the man admitted to creating that check using an online template and said he also felt pressured by his realtor. But as it turns out, he has a long rap sheet. So
that's not very well thought out, because you're not going to get, you know what I mean? Would it take 5 minutes for them to get to the bank and realize it's not a real check?
Yeah.
Anyway, Missouri State University will very likely soon be able to offer more doctoral degree programs. Up until now, the University of Missouri and Columbia had the market on that. But new legislation is moving forward in Jefferson City that will allow MSU to offer Doctor of Philosophy degrees in disciplines other than engineering and grant Bachelor of Science degrees in veterinary technology. Prior to these new bills, a student would have to go to MU to get a doctorate in those. The bills are now headed to Governor Mike Kehoe's desk for his signature.
That's cool. Expansion. Good stuff from Missouri State. 2 local education leaders are making waves at the state level. Mary Schrag was just elected as board president for the Missouri State Board of Education position, and Brooks Miller as vice president. Schrag is from West Plains. She's also served on the Missouri State University Board of Governors. She is the wife of Springfield's new mayor. So lots of new positions in their household to be celebrated. And then Brooks Miller is from Sunrise Beach and is the former president and CEO of Jordan Valley Community Health Center. And those two will now help shape the standards for public schools, among lots of other responsibilities.
Okay.
Big job for both of them. And from the Ozarks. Former Missouri Governor Kit Bond has passed away. He was 86 years old. A lot of people remember him. He was a public servant for 40 years, had 2 terms as Missouri's governor in the 70s and 80s, not consecutive, not back-to-back terms. And then he had 4 terms as a U.S. senator.
Yeah. I don't remember.
I remember the name. I don't remember, I couldn't give you his rap sheet, so to speak, his positive rap sheet. I've already used the word rap sheet for a very different reason this broadcast, but I remember his name, and it was always endearing for people.
Kit. That's an interesting nickname for Christopher. We've been telling you about the come and go stores becoming Mavericks. It's happening in our area. It's been happening across the country, out west especially.
Why do you look so sad?
Maverick is based out of Utah. Well, remember we went to the Maverick in Utah.
I know. I just
check it out.
Yeah,
and I found we preferred come and go.
We didn't write home about it.
The way it's laid out, the decor, all of it, even some of the snacks.
I would like Quick Trips back. Quick Trips.
Quick Trips are in St. Louis. They're in Kansas City, Oklahoma, Tulsa as well, just there. Yeah. Anyway, they're rebranding Come and Go into Mavericks, but we know at least two Come and Go stores locally will not be rebranded because they're not going to reopen. They're being closed down altogether. One location is East Sunshine near Enterprise Avenue. In fact, that is already closed. The other location is on North National at Chestnut Expressway, and it's closing for good next week. So say goodbye to those two. Maverick purchased the Come and Go chain back in 2023. And at first they said they were going to keep the Come and Go signage and keep the brand, but then they changed their mind and didn't do anything for a while. And then all of a sudden now it's happening.
Right. This is interesting. The FBI could be beefing up its field offices and moving jobs really out of Washington, D.C. and into different communities where they are needed. Director Kash Patel says with a, quote, explosion of violent crime in some places, the FBI could be moving positions 2 to Springfield, 33 to Kansas City, and 1 each to Topeka, Wichita, and Jefferson City. So all of those in the Midwest. The FBI is looking to relocate about 1,000 jobs out of D.C. into the field.
I didn't hear St. Louis mentioned there, but if any place needs FBI,
maybe St. Louis already has like 97 or something.
They've probably already been moved, but they could probably use support.
No, I do love St. Louis, but that's Ethan's hometown, and it's got some crime issues, as it turns out.
I saw a picture on Facebook the other day of the VP Fair back in 1982. I was 10 years old, and it was a shot from, it would be a drone today, but it was from a helicopter, shooting down under the arch, and it was wall to wall people, just people everywhere on the arch grounds, because that's where they had the VP Fair that I used to go to all the time. Unbelievable fireworks over the Mississippi River.
Why is it the VP Fair? It's not the State Fair. Oh no, that's in Sedalia, isn't it?
No, this was called the VP Fair. It stood for Veiled Prophets, and it was a little bit weird, honestly. But they were called Veiled Prophets, and they would wear veils over their faces in the parade. But they helped to fund it, so that's you never knew who they were.
Okay, are they prophets?
I don't think so. I don't know why they were called prophets. And that was the story I was told a long time ago. That may not actually be true, so I need to Wikipedia that. But then there were some in recent years.
I see what you did there. That was hilarious.
in recent years, something happened, and then everybody hated the Veiled Prophets for some reason. I don't even know, and they shut the whole thing down. But now, my point in telling you
good
that
story
was that back then, you could walk around on the arch grounds. You didn't worry about anything, and it wasn't paradise. It wasn't perfect. There were some problems, but there was no violence like there is today if you were to go down there. So,
it was closer to Mayberry than it is today.
It was. People had a good time. I mean, everybody was drunk, but they had a good time. Hey, I don't know if you heard the big announcement yesterday, but Knicks' Jackson Cantwell, the nation's top football prospect for 2026, announced he will play football in the 26th season at the University of Miami. Good for him.
Exciting.
He's going south. Yeah. Everybody was waiting on that to see where he was going to go. The 6'8", 320-pound offensive tackle wants to join the Hurricanes at the U. He's currently a junior at Nixa High School. And really, all eyes of the football world were on Nixa for a short time yesterday as he made that announcement. Coaches, players across the country who are interested in college football, no doubt, sports books, all looking.
Do you think Jackson watches around the Ozarks?
I'm sure that he does. I think everybody in his age group watches around the Ozarks.
Those high school kids
like
to tell him something. I don't know if he's watching, but I feel like there's perhaps a piece of advice that I would like to give Jackson. Oh, wow. I one time went to
Florida. Recording this?
I hope so.
We should be recording this. Just
a couple years ago, I went to Florida. I was going to a conference. Nobody on the planet knew where I was. My husband knew I was going to Florida for a conference, but he had no idea where I was staying, what I was doing. And I enjoy a good long run in the morning. And I got out of my hotel and I went running. And about 100 yards into my run from my hotel, which happened to be on a golf course, there was a sign that said, "Beware of the alligators." And I had this thought, like this legitimate thought of how many alligator on the golf course videos I've seen on Instagram in my life. Yeah. And I thought, if an alligator got me, Ethan would not know. No, literally no one on the planet knew where I was. I mean, Ethan just was like, yeah, my wife's flying to Florida for some conference. Journalism, I don't know, faith-based, I don't know. Like, probably didn't even know what it was for. I mean, much less knew where I was staying once I got there, because of course I like to Priceline hotels last minute. And I don't know if Jackson knows that about Florida, but he thinks he's going to be able to stay in shape. You can't run there, Jackson.
Well, he didn't go to the University of Florida, which is the Gators. He chose not to go there.
But it doesn't matter, does it? There's still
But
gators.
Gators are still there, but I'm saying he had an option to be a gator, and he chose not to.
Maybe he could wrestle it. 320 pounds. 320 pounds.
Kid's a junior.
Oh my gosh.
A junior.
That's insane. Ethan weighs 200.
I don't know how they grow him so big these days.
If you were.
But you know what changed? What changed in kids' physiques, and Shaquille O'Neal was the first one that I can remember. Because it used to be big, tall guys were lanky and all arms and legs. And as I recall, Shaquille O'Neal was the first athlete that was like perfectly proportioned just in giant size.
Yeah.
He had all the athletic ability as a kid, as the same person shrunk down a little bit into like a 6'3" guy.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
So here's another
now
story.
They're all like
Sorry, we're digressing. Listen, this is an important story because it's very applicable. My friend Diane, you know Diane, she's like a sports medicine person. She's phenomenal. If you ever have a muscle issue, she'll get you fixed right up. But she said that it was in like 1985 where she noticed that kids were developing just a lot like bigger, huskier, and it was at the same time that apparently like McDonald's and others started putting different like, I don't know, I guess not antibiotics but hormones of some sort in their food.
Well, the beef, the cattle, the McDonald's didn't do it. The cattle in the field got the hormones.
Anyway, so it's interesting because now we have 320-pound offensive tackles. I mean, hello. That's amazing, though. 320 pounds, that just makes me laugh. I want to see this guy in person. I know everybody else knows what he looks like. I don't know what he looks like. I just feel like he should know about the Gators.
What year did she say? 80?
I think she thought it was around 85.
85. Well, Shaq and I are the same age. We're both 53 years old, class of 90. Born
53.
in 72.
You guys, I am married to a 53-year-old man.
All right, we're talking about Shaquille O'Neal right now. He's 50.
Sometimes it hits me though, your age, and it like what?
Try being me.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm the
look
one
at
that's
you.
53.
You're fit as a fiddle.
I am fit as a fiddle. Yeah, I'm healthy as a horse, to be honest with you. But Shaq, so he would have been eating McDonald's and fast food at about that time. Not McDonald's specifically, but fast food.
I know. Now we're going to get in trouble. I love McDonald's. There's nothing wrong with McDonald's. But...
when the hormones started going in food, so that helped him grow, no doubt.
Yeah.
All right. Meanwhile, Missouri State, back to the news, is beefing up their football team with a new player from Kansas.
Up. I see what you did there too.
Miles Ewell. I don't know how to pronounce that. Ewell. I haven't heard
Ewell.
it yet. Ewell?
It's Ewell.
Okay.
Right?
I don't know. Miles Ewell will join the Bears out of the transfer portal from KU. He redshirted last season for the Jayhawks and will have 4 seasons left of eligibility as an offensive tackle. So we want to welcome Miles. Just go with his first name.
Yeah. Good job, Miles. Okay. The Steve Miller Band is headed to Camdenton to perform at the Ozarks Amphitheater. That concert is scheduled for Saturday, September 20th at 7 p.m. Pre-sale tickets go on sale Thursday and general admission on Friday. And if you want to stay at that same venue and you like disco, how about this? The Ozarks Amphitheater is also hosting Casey and the Sunshine Band and the Village People. Hello, YMCA. That will also be on Saturday, August 9th. So 2 different shows coming up, and tickets go on sale for both of them this week on Thursday for pre-sale, Friday for general admission.
I went to that very show, Casey and the Sunshine Band and the Village People, at the Aladdin Hotel in Las Vegas. I was in school there at the time, so it would have been 1993 or 4, and they were great back then because that was a little time ago. That was a long time ago.
We'll see if they can pull it off.
I don't know if they can, but it'll be fun to watch.
I saw Merle Haggard in his later years, and
didn't work out so well.
It didn't work out so well.
Right.
Okay, the AMC movie theater chain. So in Springfield, that would be AMC Springfield 11. They are cutting prices for movie tickets. This is great news. Just in time for summer, adult movie tickets will be cut by 50% starting on July 9th. You must be a member of the AMC Stubs Rewards program to get the reduced price.
Okay. Well, no doubt you heard this as well. It's a big deal. The late Pete Rose has officially been taken off MLB's permanently banned ineligible list. Baseball's all-time hits leader was banned back in 1989 after an investigation revealed that the longtime Cincinnati Red star bet on games while he was playing for and managing the team. That's frowned upon. But he is now eligible for the Baseball Hall of Fame, but he died at the age of 83 last fall without ever seeing it happen. And I don't know.
How do you feel about that, babe?
I have a strong feeling about it. I think it was a dirty move by the Major League Baseball. I think they should have done it while he was alive, because here's the deal. He bet on his team to win only. So, and now if you go to any ballpark across the country, it's basically sponsored, all of it, by sports books. And they're in bed with sports books. They're in bed with sports gambling. But they're going to take it out on this guy who was one of the top 5 best baseball players in history, the all-time hits leader, and not allow him to get into the Hall of Fame. I think it was crappy. I think it was a crappy move.
I was not aware. Sometimes I don't know what Ethan is passionate about until we are live on the air. But
I wrote Pete Rose a letter back in probably 1980.
He's serious, aren't you?
I did. Yeah, I did. I remember my mom talking to me about it. I sent him a letter, and he was an expo at the time. He sent me back an autographed picture of him as an expo. And then when I lived back to
showing your support for his gambling addiction, or what?
What
was the letter about?
Oh, are you being cute? Is that a shot?
No, I mean,
is that a shot?
No, like, were you supporting him? Were you saying I stand with you, Pete, or what?
He was playing baseball in 1980. He was in the middle of his career.
Sorry, I had the 80 and the 83 thing mixed up.
Even in 83, he was in the middle of his career, and he was a great baseball player. So I liked to watch him play. I liked it when he came to St. Louis.
Yeah, I mean, it is a different day for sure with all the sports book stuff, but
when I lived in Las Vegas and I worked at the Caesars Forum shops in college, I worked there at the Warner Brothers store. But it was in the Forum
guys
shop.
When we met, Ethan had so much crap from the Warner Brothers store, like Looney Tunes pillows.
Bugs Bunny. It was Bugs
Bunny, guys. I'm like, how old are you again?
I worked at the Warner Brothers store. At any rate, can I finish the story?
I'm sorry. Absolutely, you can.
Okay, thank you. I worked in the Forum shops, and if you've been to the Forum shops, it's a mall. It was an original mall on the Las Vegas Strip at Caesar's Palace. But I would go for lunch down and get some chips and salsa. And Pete Rose was always at the deli because he would go to that. His only way to make a living was signing baseballs for people and autographing things. So he would charge people for autographs, and they would always have him at the little store down the hall, and I'd always see him there. Never asked him for an autograph or a picture. That was back before cell phones, so we didn't have an easy way. But he looked a little bit surly. I think he was unhappy about his lot in life, ending up there doing that because he couldn't get into the Hall of Fame. And in many ways, he made his own bed. I just think there could have been some mercy shown. Because he is one of the greatest baseball players in history. Okay. There you go. That's all I got.
All right, folks. That'll do it. This is the longest podcast ever to be broadcast.
Not even at 20 minutes.
From these good folks that are on the Ozarks. Thanks for tuning in. We do hope to see you back here tomorrow morning, and we hope you have a fantastic day at work. Anything else?
See you later. Yeah. Bye. Have a great day.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, sponsored by Command Family Medicine and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Wednesday. Thanks so much for starting it with me here on Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. We are waking up nice and warm this morning. No jackets necessary. In fact, it is like a summertime forecast and I have for you heading into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Temperatures starting out in the mid-60s this morning. I've got a strong south breeze in the forecast, and boy, are those things going to work together to heat us up today. In fact, we may be near record high temperatures this afternoon. It is going to be hot. We get a little taste of summertime temperatures today. Official high forecast will be right around 86 degrees. There may be some folks in the upper 80s pushing 90 with that actual temperature, but what's going to be in the 90s is that feels like temperature across the Ozarks. A bit humid across the region. No rain for us today, and we will have a south breeze. At times, it could gust to 20 miles an hour. So if you can find some shade, it'll at least feel like a bit of a breezy day in the forecast, but we have near record high temperatures in the forecast today and tomorrow with heat index values likely in the low 90s. This is unseasonably warm, and that's what's going to stick around in the forecast today and tomorrow. Some temperatures may approach records, as I mentioned, and I'm thinking low 90s for those heat index values generally west of Highway 65. Still going to feel hot everywhere. I mean, this is really kind of our first taste of summer weather in the forecast, well above average. I do have record highs that run anywhere from the upper 80s to the low 90s today, so we'll get close in some areas. We'll have to see if we break any of those this afternoon. We are going to be above normal, though, that is for sure. Typically, high temperatures around 75 in late May. We're going to go about 10 more than that across the region today. Then I have unsettled weather that returns to the forecast. That happens for late this work week on Friday into Saturday. There could be thunderstorms that return to the region. Strong to severe storms look possible, as well as the potential for heavy rain and potentially some flash flooding with those thunderstorms for the late weekend forecast. I'm going to keep an eye on that because that'll be the next big weather event for us to watch. And of course, storms in the weekend, not what we want. I don't think it looks like a washout all weekend long, but I think we could have some strong storms, particularly Friday into Saturday of the upcoming weekend. So stay tuned with that forecast. If you have outdoor plans, don't cancel them at this point. Just know that it may be a weekend that you have to watch and potentially make a backup plan for. Around the country, there's this slow-moving upper low, and it's bringing heavy rain and flooding for much of the mid-Atlantic. It was a rainy day there yesterday, continues to be a rainy day today. We've also got below normal temperatures across much of the west and scattered showers and thunderstorms, as well as mountain snowfall in the western region of the country as well. While all that's happening, we're getting summer-like heat here in the Midwest, and that's happening for much of the heartland. They are talking about triple-digit heat down in Austin, Texas today. So we're thinking of all of our South Texas friends because, boy, they are getting an early taste of extreme summer heat. All right, it's time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister trivia question for the day. Which type of severe thunderstorm is characterized by a rotating updraft and can produce tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds? It also often lasts for several hours. Do you think that is A, squall line, B, a multicell, C, a supercell, or D, an ordinary cell? If you know this one, you know it is C, a supercell. And a supercell is a powerful and dangerous thunderstorm that has all the things I mentioned there. The rotating updraft, it's called the mesocyclone. You may have heard of it referred to that. They are known for producing severe weather, hail, high wind, and sometimes even tornadoes. They can last for several hours, and they can also travel long distances. So as a forecaster, when you see a supercell on the radar, you track where it's going because those things can actually regenerate and strengthen as they move across large scales. Congrats if supercell was your guess. Here's the quiz question that I'll leave you with for tomorrow. What is the name of the scale used to measure the intensity of tornadoes based on the damage they cause to structures and vegetation? Options here are A, the Richter scale, B, the Saffir-Simpson scale, C, the enhanced Fujita scale, or D, the Beaufort scale. What do you think? You can let me know your guess. That's at aroundtheozarks.com. Thanks so much for listening to Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. I appreciate you listening this morning, and thanks to our sponsors, Command Family Medicine and Taylor Gruba Chevrolet. Have a great one. Stay cool today. I'll be back to talk more summertime heat in the forecast tomorrow. Catch you then.